Hello and welcome to your first lesson of film studies. Um, you're taking this class because you like movies. I like movies. We all love movies. The big theme of this class is what makes a great film? Who determines what is a great film? Is it the professionals? Are the people that are trained? They go to college, they get degrees for this, that are critics, and they are professionally trained and they've watched all these great movies. Are they the ones who get to say what are the great movies? Or is it the fans? Is it you and I that pay our money to go to the theaters? Well, we used to until all this hit. Or we watch it on Netflix, or we like it on Amazon, or whatever. Who gets to determine that? So we're going to look at this. What makes a great film? Here's a little intro to film for you. Just kind of sit back and watch for a little bit here. Hope you enjoyed that. If you hadn't recognized a lot of those scenes, maybe you need to watch some more movies. This class is perfect for you. But that's kind of the montage of 100 years of films that the experts, the critics have seen. So do they get to determine who is a great film, or do you? Even though you don't know as much about movies, you're the one that pays to go see them. So we divide this class into two camps. We have critics, and so some of the lists we use in this movie, that little clip you saw, was 100 years of films from the American Film Institute. It's a collection of 1,500 leaders of the industry. We're talking directors, producers, critics, people that work in movies. It's a pretty important group. They really promote American cinema, and so they come out with the list that really is the basis of this class. They haven't updated it since 2007, though. They did a list in 1998. They updated it in 2007. It's badly overdue for an update. They haven't done anything with it. So it's a little dated in terms of the latest movies. Rotten Tomatoes is an online aggregate. Basically, it's a formula that takes all the critics across the country and determines if their review is positive or negative and gives it a score out of 100%. And so it's kind of controversial because some movie studios actually own a stake in Rotten Tomatoes. They claim that they're not connected at all. And then probably the most extensive is called They Shoot Pictures, Don't They? It takes every single greatest movie list across the globe, not just American cinema, but across the whole world. 1,300 critics, their top 10 listens expanded. They have even more information, and they have a list of 1,001 movies. They even have it all the way to 2,000 movies now. So if you're really a cinemaphile, it means you really love movies. You got a lot of movies to watch. It also factors in 300 magazine polls, Film Institute polls, and all of these other ones. Some of the more of the critics, you have the Time magazine all-time 100 movies, which was just two critics' opinions in 2005. They updated it in 2011. Entertainment Weekly did a list, the 100 greatest movies of all time. It was written by one guy, Ty Burr, 1999. He updated it in 2013. The AMC film site, the American Movie Classics film site, written and directed by Tim Dirks, doesn't rank the films, but it just looks at other lists and sources and tries to determine what's a great film. So it honors, like, hey, you're on the list. And then the British have the Sight and Sound magazine, the British Film Institute. They're published every 10 years. It's been updated since the American Film Institute, and so it's a little newer, the 2012 version. They have two lists, one voted on by directors, people that make the movies, and then one that's voted on by critics, programmers, academics, and distributors. It's a very respected list. So then you have the fans. That's you, that's me, that's all of us. The fans, you can actually go online and imdb.com, and you can rate every movie you've ever seen. Out of 10 stars. And so based on that, they give, they have a top 250. They've had problems recently with bots, with fake reviews, with trying to destroy movies that, that most people like, but, they try to tear them down. And so you rank these films, and you can build your own movie journal if you have an IMDb account. It's free. You can also write reviews. You can read other film fan reviews on each film. And then the easiest way to determine if a movie is good is we pay to go watch it. You can look at money made or ticket sales. It costs a lot of money to go to the movies now, where it used to be 25 cents or a nickel in some places, or a double feature for a dime. We love Amazon. We could look at their ratings and reviews. But they only do cinema. We're only looking at cinema. We're not looking at TV series. We're not looking at mini series. They're kind of, we got Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad and all that. And is that movies? We're only looking at cinema. So let's look at some of the list. We're going to go very quickly through these. You can refer back to them on the notes that is attached to the Google Classroom. So the AFI, this is the basis of our class here. The number one greatest movie of all time. It's been this way for 50 years, Citizen Kane. Followed by The Godfather, Casablanca, Raging Bull, Singing in the Rain, Gone with the Wind, Lawrence of Arabia, Schindler's List, Vertigo, Wizard of Oz, City Lights, The Searchers, Star Wars. Here we go, baby. Now we're talking. Psycho, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Sunset Boulevard, The Graduate, The General, On the Waterfront, and It's a Wonderful Life. That's our top 20. And if you look at that, and if you compare it to the syllabus, we're going to watch most of these films. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, number 18. We're going to watch those ones. I've seen all of them. Rotten Tomatoes. So I actually just updated this. Their pre-list before 2020 was pretty well rounded. I mean, here it was. It was The Wizard of Oz, The Third Man, an Orson Welles movie, Citizen Kane, All About Eve, one I can't pronounce, The Godfather, Modern Times, Inside Out, Metropolis, which is the basis of C-3PO from Star Wars, E.T., Singing in the Rain, It Happened One Night, A Hard Day's Night, Snow White, Laura, Boyhood, North by Northwest, Repulsion, King Kong, The Adventures of Robin Hood. So then before this little video I made, I looked it up and they changed their rankings. They adjusted their scores, and check these out. This is the new Rotten Tomatoes Top 100. We're going to look at their top 20. Black Panther, greatest movie of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes. Avengers Endgame. You guys are probably liking this because you like these movies. Us, Toy Story 4, The Wizard of Oz. And if you look, the top 4 now are, modern movies. And then the percentages don't make sense. Black Panther is 96%, number 2 is 94%, but look, The Wizard of Oz and Toy Story have a higher percentage. I'm not sure if they didn't have enough reviews or they adjust it, they weight the other ones. I'm not sure how it works. Mission Impossible Fallout. I mean, did anyone actually see that? I'm just kidding. You probably did. I didn't. Citizen Kane, 100%, but it's not number 1. Lady Bird, The Irishman. We were on quarantine for over 160 days, and I didn't have time to watch The Irishman. It was too long. It's on Netflix, like 3 hours, 4 hours. I didn't do it. Black Klansman, Spike Lee movie, Get Out. That one I can't pronounce. Casablanca, Spider-Man and Spider-Verse. That's a fun movie. Mad Max Fury Road, and my typo there. Good job, good typing there. I'm out of practice. Moonlight, Booksmart, A Star is Born. That's the modern one. Wonder Woman and The Farewell. So I'm not sure what happened to their rankings, but basically most of the movies are very new and modern. They shoot pictures, don't they? Probably the most extensive list you can find. They basically took every list they can put together and came up with this 1,000 greatest films. You have Citizen Kane, Vertigo, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Rules of the Game, Tokyo Story, 8.5, The Godfather, which we will watch, Sunrise, The Searchers we watch as our Western movie, Seven Samurai, Apocalypse Now, Singing in the Rain, Bicycle Thieves, Taxi Driver, which is the Joker's a ripoff of that, Battleship Potemkin, Breathless, The Passion of Joan of Arc, The French Word, Persona, and The Man with the Movie Camera. You look, you see a well-rounded, lots of different countries here, but this is film studies of American culture, so we weed out the foreign films, sorry. So we base it just on English films when we get Citizen Kane, Vertigo, 2001, Godfather, Sunrise. I hope you see these movies over and over again. The Searchers, Apocalypse Now, Singing in the Rain, Taxi Driver, Psycho, Godfather Part 2, Raging Bull, Some Like It Hot, City Lights, Lawrence of Arabia, Casablanca. What I'm trying to do is when I created this class, the movies we watch are on multiple lists. You see them over and over and over again. So we really tried to select the best films for you to watch. And then the general. Entertainment Weekly, here's their list. You can see it's very similar. We're getting a lot of the same movies. You're kind of seeing a pattern. Citizen Kane is routinely number 1. The Godfather's right on its heels. The beloved classic Casablanca. And you got some other movies here and there. Psycho, which we will watch. Gone with the Wind. The Searchers, some other ones there. AMC Film Site, they say that the most critically acclaimed film of all time is Citizen Kane. It's one on list after list after list after list. For film goers, the favorite movies of all time for us, the fans, are Casablanca, Star Wars, and the Godfather movies. But those are the most beloved films by fans. Also Gone with the Wind, The Shawshank Redemption. The most award-winning films, we could look at, if it's a great movie, if it won a lot of awards. Gone with the Wind won 8 Oscars. From Here to Eternity, 8 Oscars. On the Waterfront, 8 Oscars. Gigi, 9 Oscars. You probably never even heard of it. Ben-Hur, 11 Oscars. It's super long, too. Titanic, 11 Oscars. And then Lord of the Rings, Return of the King won 11 Oscars. The British, number 1 for them is Vertigo, followed by Citizen Kane, Tokyo Story. You can see, kind of looking at the pattern here, you're seeing a lot of the same movies over and over and over again because they're great movies according to critics. This is the director list. Now let's look at the fans. IMDb, number 1 movie of all time according to fans is Shawshank Redemption, which is the final film we watched in this class, the fan favorite, followed by The Godfather Part 2, The Dark Knight, which we watch as our superhero movie, 12 Angry Men, Schindler's List, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Pulp Fiction, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Fight Club, Forrest Gump, Inception, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, the greatest movie ever, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, The Matrix, Goodfellas, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Seven Samurai, and Seven. If we look at the box office, let's look at what's the greatest money-making movie of all time. So we're going to show you throughout history, the greatest box office films. Trip to the Moon, first movie we watch of the year. That's the French name of it. And then the next film beat the previous one. The next box office king was The Birth of a Nation, which is a very controversial film, very racist film, led to the rebirth of the KKK. Yeah, that's not a good thing. The Big Parade, followed by Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Gone with the Wind, The Sound of Music. Gone with the Wind held the title for a long time. The Godfather, and then you get these blockbusters. You get Jaws, you get Star Wars, you get E.T., Jurassic Park. Titanic was king for a long time until Avatar came along, and then Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This is the domestic box office. To this day, The Force Awakens is the #1 movie in American history in terms of box office. Endgame almost caught it, but it didn't. For each decade, you can see that in the aughts, Trip to the Moon in the teens, Birth of a Nation, Big Parade in the 20s, Gone with the Wind in the 30s, Bambi was the greatest movie of the 40s, Lady and the Tramp in the 50s, Sound of Music in the 60s, Star Wars in the 70s. The 80s was E.T., Titanic in the 90s, Avatar in the 2000s, 2010s, the teens that we just got out of, The Force Awakens, and then our new little decade that we don't really have a lot of movies out, it's actually The Rise of Skywalker. We haven't had movies for a while. If we look at worldwide box office, so we're going to include all these other countries because, it's a big market out there in Europe and China and Asia and all that stuff. Endgame's #1, followed by Avatar, Titanic, The Force Awakens, Infinity War, Jurassic World, Lion King. I'm just going to throw these out here because if you look very carefully, the problem with the box office is every one of these movies except Titanic, it was in the 21st century. Titanic's the only film on this list for the all-time worldwide box office from the 20th century. The reason why? It costs a lot more money to go to the movies. It's really expensive to buy a ticket. So you can actually adjust it to inflation and see if we just look at number of tickets sold, greatest movies of all time in terms of tickets sold. Gone with the Wind. More people have seen that movie, and it's controversial. It has very racist undertones in this movie, which we will watch, and we're going to disclose. We're going to talk about it before the movie and during and after the movie. But that is the most popular movie of all time in terms of tickets sold, followed by Star Wars. This is the original Episode 4, A New Hope. Sound of Music, E.T., Titanic, The Ten Commandments, Jaws, Dr. Zhivago, The Exorcist, Snow White, The Force Awakens, 101 Dalmatians, The Empire Strikes Back, Ben-Hur, Avatar, Endgame, Return of the Jedi, Jurassic Park, Phantom Menace, and The Lion King. And you see a much more rounded list here from multiple decades, multiple centuries. It's not just recent movies. Some other box office records, if you're curious. The greatest the rated G movie that made the most movies is Toy Story 4. PG movie, Incredibles 2. PG-13, The Force Awakens. Rated R movie, The Passion of the Christ. Deadpool almost got it. It was just a couple $1 million short. NC-17, This Is Last Tango in Paris, very controversial Marlon Brando film from the 70s. And then the top grossing film, the film that made the most movie without ever getting #1, was the movie Sing from 2016. So what about Amazon? Let's see what they say, based on customer ratings. #1 all the time is Wait for Your Laugh, followed by Bravo, Common Men, Uncommon Valor, and The Real Inglourious Bastards. ESPN's 30 for 30? Do you guys recognize any of these? The Victor Mark Story, Chris Isaac Live, Hilda? I don't know what's going on here. Band of Brothers is pretty good. I've heard of that one. That's a series, though. Downtown Abbey. I spelled it wrong. It's Downton Abbey. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think we can use Amazon. Sorry, I'm going to throw that out. And so what I want you to do, and I'm not going to go through these, is your homework is you need to post on versolearning.com, and there's tiles when you join my class with the syllabus code. It's on the syllabus, the class code. You need to post in the tile your 10 favorite movies. I'll just give you my #1 movie, The Empire Strikes Back. This is the movie you enjoy the most. You love it. No matter when it's on, you watch it. And so you need to list your top 10, your top 10 favorite movies of all time. All right, and then you also need to list the 10 greatest movies of all time, which is a little different. The greatest movies are basically, there's certain films that are wonderful, great films. Maybe you don't enjoy them as much. For instance, the movie Schindler's List is a great, phenomenal movie. I don't care to ever watch it again. Just so you know, #1 greatest movie of all time is still The Empire Strikes Back, because the correct answer is always Star Wars. So by the end of the week, you need to put your 10 favorite films and your 10 greatest films on versolearning.com. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.